Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our Christmas playthrough of Arkham Horror, the end of everything where we're all in. Yes, we've got all the expansion boards, we've got 8 investigators, we've got virtually every card in the game and we are trying to stop Azathoth from devouring the world. And how are we getting on? Well, quite well. We do have a rumour, but we should be able to get rid of it. One thing from last turn is the position of the Ancient Whispers marker. As was pointed out by a couple of the viewers, it shouldn't have been where it was, because I moved it a couple of times when we'd actually looked at the marker and moved it during the encounter phase. You don't move it then in the mythos phase. So if you've moved it already during the encounter phase, even if we get crescent monster movement, it doesn't move in the mythos phase. It only moves in the mythos phase when it hasn't been moved in the Arkham encounter phase. So I've put it back to Rivertown. I think that's where it should be. Okay, so that is it for the introduction. So let's get straight into the upkeep phase. And here we are at the upkeep phase with Jackie. She's our new first player. What's she going to do? Well, we're going to get her up to Dunwich instead of Innsmouth. We've got a plan. The reason I'm taking her up to Dunwich is she's got no clues. And she's not going to get any clues while she's in Kingsport. Now, the reason I want her to have clues is because Astro Tibbs pointed out in the last episode that she's got precognition. So she can spend 2 clue tokens to actually stop a mythos card. Yep, we can replace it and we take a second mythos card in its place. So that'd be really, really useful. So let's get her some clues so she's able to do that. Now it says here it costs her 2 clue tokens, but we've got Mythos Law, which can exhaust instead of a clue token. So essentially she can do this for just a single clue token. That is immense. So what are we going to do? We're going to send her up to Dunwich where there are still a few clues. There's still 3 clues up there. Now that means we're going to have to do a bit of jigging around in order to get somebody at Church Green to sacrifice 2 spells to get rid of the Innsmouth Plague, but I think I've sussed out a way to do that. So we're not moving any of her sliders. Fortunately, she's got $1, which will allow her to get to Bishop's Brook Bridge. So that's it for Jacqueline. Our next player will be Wilson Richards. And here we are with Wilson. Now Wilson's a bit stuck because we can't really get anybody to Falcon Point this turn, which is what I was planning to do before that horrible rumour came out. So he's going to pretty much have to stay where he is, sort of marooned. He can move to Devil Reef, however, so he's going to go to Devil Reef, and again, he's going to do an odd job. So he's basically got a bit of a summer job in Innsmouth doing a bit of fishing. So that's what he's doing. So hopefully we'll get to somebody to Falcon Point eventually, and then we'll be able to charter a boat for him. But as it is, he's pretty much stuck out in Innsmouth Bay. Anyway, he'll still be able to get $1 and he'd creep his way towards his personal story. So that's it for Wilson. Next up is Jim Culver. And here we are with Jim. We're not going to be moving his sliders or anything because he's got to shut that gate. Hopefully he will roll a bit better this time. I did think about sending Joe down to South Church to get Jim blessed, but unfortunately Joe is going after Jim, so it wouldn't do any good anyway, so we won't do that. Just hopefully Jim will be able to shut the gate this turn. Right, so that's it for Jim. Just shut the gate, Jim. And hopefully we'll be able to shut and seal it. That's it for Jim. Next up is Leo Anderson. And here we are with Leo. So what's Leo going to do? Well, Leo's going to try and get in Independence Square. And in order to do that, he's going to try and sneak past the Deep One Hybrid and the Dark Druid. So we're going to have to move his sliders for him to do that. So we'll use his 2 focus. And what we'll do is we'll put him on to 2 speed and 3 sneak. Now he gets an extra sneak from Earl, which will put him up to 4 sneak, And he's also got survivors, which means you get +1 on evade checks. So he's going to have 5 sneak, and hopefully that will be enough to get past both of those monsters and get into Independence Square. Then he can go through to the other world. He's got 5 clue tokens, and we definitely know that he's going to be able to close the gate because he's got Seeker of the Yellow Sign. So that should be a guaranteed seal, so long as he can sneak past. So that's the plan for Leo. Next up, after Leo, we have Tony Morgan. And here we are with Tony, who is going to prove to be a utility vehicle once again. He's currently at Bishopsbrook Bridge, but he will get a visit from Jackie earlier. Jackie's going to go to Bishopsbrook Bridge because we want her to take advantage of the clues in Dunwich. But when she joins Tony, they will have a bit of a trade. And what they're going to do is he's going to give her the Ruby of Relay, and that will allow her to actually do some extra movement. Yes? So as soon as she gets there, she'll trade with Tony, get the Ruby of Relay, and then she'll move on. Yes? Because Tony's not going to use this. She'll move on to either Cold Spring Glen or Gardener's Place or Devil Hat Yard and pick up a clue, which is great. And Tony will also give her $1, just in case she needs to get back to Arkham at any point. And Tony will pick up two of her spells, Call Down the Storm and Storm of Spirits. And those are the ones that he's going to discard. Because once he's done the trade, when it comes to his turn, he is going to go from Bishopsbrook Bridge to Joe Sargent's bus service. Then he's going to move into Church Green. Then he's going to discard 2 of those spells. Whoop-de-doo. We get rid of the Innsmouth Plague. Then, a bit later on, obviously, he will head to Falcon Point, and eventually we will get Wilson off Devil's Reef. So that is the plan for Tony. So we don't need to move any of his sliders or anything, and that'll be it for Tony. So after Tony, we have got George Barnaby. And here we are with George. First things first, he gets $2 through his retainer, putting him up to $9. Excellent. So he'll have to roll for that. So come on, George. And he gets a 6. Awesome. So George keeps his retainer, which is brilliant news. Right, what is he going to do this turn? Well, he may as well carry on picking up clues. He's very close to the Silver Twilight Lodge, and even though he's only got 1 speed, he does have fellow travellers, so he'll exhaust that to get another speed, and that can get him to the Silver Twilight Lodge, where he'll pick up a clue. Again, we're playing a bit fast and loose with George because he will have to have an encounter there, but hopefully it won't be too bad and we'll get away with it. He does have the Dark Cloak and +1 sneak, as well as 4 sneak here, so I'm just hoping that if a monster appears or anything, he will be able to dodge it. I did notice as well, the old pentagram of blood, this may be very, very useful for getting rid of that moon beast. Unfortunately, George doesn't have enough stamina, but if we can give it to one of our investigators that does have good stamina, they can go down there and they can get rid of the moon beast because it's got 3 toughness. So we'll look to give that somebody like Joe or Bob, somebody like that who can get down there and who can take that stamina hit. As it stands, the moon beast is in Uptown, so that's right next to St Mary's Hospital anyway, so we can just pop in, spend a couple of dollars and you'll be back to full health. So that sounds like a plan. So we'll keep that on the back burner, handing the pentagram of blood off to another investigator. That is it for George. Next up is Bob Jenkins. And here we are with Bob. We're not going to move any of Bob's sliders. He's just on a trip down to the Historical Society where he's going to pick up those 2 clues. Gets 5 clues. Obviously, he will pass his old money, which is his personal story. So let's get him down there. And what else have we got to do? We've got to roll for his bank loan. So a 4 or more. Come on. He gets a 1, which is a downer. He's got to pay $1. So paid $1. Pop that in there. But he's still got $7 left. He should be fine. Okay, so that is it for Bob. He's pretty tooled up. So, you know, if we could get that pentagram of blood to him, he could easily spend 3 of these. Unfortunately, he can't really... He needs all of his movement points as it stands to get down to the Historical Society. But eventually, we will look to get that pentagram of blood to him. And hopefully, he will kill the Moon Beast. Right, so that is Bob Jenkins. And next up is our final investigator for this turn, who is Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe. First things first, let's roll for his bank loan. And what a load of rubbish. So we're going to have to exhaust credit rating so he doesn't have to pay his dollar. Okay, what's Joe going to do? Well, it depends on everybody else, really. If Leo manages to sneak past those 2 monsters in the downtown streets, get into Independence Square and the gate, then Joe will head up to downtown streets and kill those 2 monsters. That will help him achieve his personal story, and then he can head off towards the Silver Twilight Lodge in order to finalise it. If Leo doesn't manage to do that, then what we'll probably do is we will send Joe down to the Silver Twilight Lodge where he will meet up with George. He can trade with George, he can take that pentagram of blood, and he can actually use it, and we will get rid of the Moon Beast. But hopefully he'll go up to downtown and kill those 2 monsters there, because Leo will get through. If Leo doesn't get through, I'm fully expecting Leo to be able to kill those monsters. It's just to save time and to try and get him in Independence Square. So hopefully if Leo does that, then our #1 plan is just to send Joe up there to finish off those 2 monsters. But as I say, if that doesn't happen, let's send Joe down to the Silver Twilight Lodge, trade the pentagram of blood, and get rid of the Moon Beast. Okay, so that's it for Joe, that's it for the upkeep phase. Next up is the movement phase. And here we are at the movement phase with Jackie. So she's going to go 1, 2 to Central Hill, then she's going to spend her dollar, and that will take her to Bishopsbrook Bridge. So let's get up there, and here she is arriving at Bishopsbrook Bridge with good old Tony. So she gets there with Tony, and there's going to be a bit of swapperoony going on. Tony's going to give her $1, and he's also going to give her the Ruby of Relay. In return, she's going to give him Storm of Spirits and call down the storm. Then she's immediately going to use the Ruby of Relay, and she's going to go 1, 2, 3 and go to Cold Spring Glen and get a clue. So we should be able to stop a Mythos card this turn. Well, not stop a Mythos card, we will get one. But if it's a particularly nasty one, we can draw again with any luck. Righto, so that is it for Jackie. Next up is Wilson Richards. And here's Wilson. He's just going to go back to Devil Reef, and that is it for him. After Wilson, it is Jim Calder. Here we are with Jim at the Black Cave, and he's staying at the Black Cave. He has a gate to shut. Hopefully he will do it a little bit better this turn. So that is it for Jim. After Jim, it is Leo Anderson. And here we are with Leo. So he's going to move 1 to Northside, 2 to Downtown, and then he's going to use Charles Dexter Ward and his +1 speed to try and get into Independence Square, but he's got to evade these 2 chaps. So first of all, he's going to try and evade the Deep One Hybrid, so that's -1. Leo has a sneak of 5. Just got to check survivors. He's actually going to use that against the Dark Druid. It gets exhausted as soon as it's used survivors. So he's got a sneak of 4, and he's going to use that sneak of 4 to get past the Deep One Hybrid. So he's got 3 dice. Come on. And he gets a 6. So he does sneak past the Deep One Hybrid. Then he's going to try and sneak past the Dark Druid, and he is going to exhaust survivors this time. So he's going to get 3 dice again. And he gets 2 successes that time. Yes! Brilliant! So Leo does get to Independence Square, and he does give these 2 jokers the slip. Excellent stuff. Righto, so that is it for Leo. Next up is Tony Morgan. And here we are with Tony. He's going to spend $1. That'll put him down to $4. And he is going to move to Joe Sargent's bus service. So let's get up to Innsmouth. And here we are in Innsmouth. And Tony arrives at Joe Sargent's bus service. Then he'll take a little trot over to Church Green. So he's there ready for the Arkham encounter phase, when he will be able to discard those 2 spells. That's it for Tony. And next up is George Barnaby. And here we are with George. He's going to move 1 to French Hill. Then he's going to exhaust Fellow Travellers, and he's going to move an extra 1 to the Silver Twilight Lodge and pick up this clue. He now has 4 clues, so we're doing pretty well on the clue front. That is it for George. Next up is Bob Jenkins. And here we are with Bob, off up there in the distance. And he's going to go 1, 2, 3 to French Hill, 4 to Southside, and 5 to the Historical Society, where he's going to pick up those 2 clues. Well done, Bob. He's up to 4 clues as well. Awesome. Next up is Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe. So Joe's going to go 1, 2, 3 to downtown. And then he's going to start taking on these mothers. So we've got the Deep 1 hybrid first. So that's -1 on a horror check. His will is at 0, but he does have the gruesome talisman. So he's going to be able to roll a die. Come on, Joe. And he gets a success, yes. So he doesn't lose any sanity. And it's +0 on the combat check. And we only need 1 success. He's got 5 fight. And he gets +4 for his 45s. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we just need 1 success. And we got 3 successes. So bye-bye, Mr. Deep 1 hybrid. He joins the Yithian on his player tray. And we get a stand back. Then we take on the Dark Druid. So again, it's -1 on the sanity check. We'll take one of these 6s. He's only got 1 die because he's using gruesome talisman. And we've got his will down to 0. A 2. So he does lose a sanity. He's down to 3 sanity. But I think it's worth it to maximise his fight. So we get -2. And so it'll be 7 dice this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he gets 2 successes, which I think is enough. He gets 2 5s, and it is. So he gets the Dark Druid as well. And that means he has got 6 toughness of monster trophies, which means all he needs to do now is get down to the Silver Twilight Lodge, and he can finalise his personal story. And if he does that next turn, I don't know if he goes before George. If he does go before George next turn, then he will pick up the Pentagram of Blood when he goes down there. Okay, so that went pretty well. Well done, Joe. And that is it for the movement phase. Next up is the Arkham encounter phase. And here we are at the Arkham encounter phase with Jackie. So she's going to have an encounter at Cold Spring Glen. So we get the Backwoods Country deck. And let's give it a cut. and see what we get. Cold Spring Glen. You slide down a muddy hill and strike your head against a rock. What are you doing, Jackie? Half conscious, your mind fills with images of horrific gods. When you awake, a bizarre chant still echoes in your thoughts. Gain 1 spell and lose 1 stamina. Woohoo! So she will gain a spell. Well, that's pretty good, seeing as she's just given 2 away to get discarded. So let's see what she gets. She gets Plague of Locusts. Casting modifier +0, sanity cost 2, magical spell, movement phase, cast and exhaust to choose 1 monster in a street area. Return it to the cup and remove all clue tokens in the same neighbourhood. That is a good spell. That is a good spell. So, Plague of Locusts, put that on her player tray. And she would lose 1 stamina normally. But I've just been doing editing and I just realised that I could have used Leo Anderson's ability to stop Joe Diamond losing a sanity because he's got the leadership ability, and I was just like kicking myself because I'd missed it, but I can now use it to stop good old Jackie losing a stamina. So Leo's going to use his leadership ability to prevent that stamina loss. Excellent. Right, so that is it for Jackie. Next up is Wilson Richards. And here we are with Wilson. He's going to use his odd jobs ability and get himself $1, which puts him up to $8. Excellent stuff. That is it for Wilson. After Wilson, it is Jim Culver. And here we are with Jim. Come on, Jim. So we've got 2 dice. Shut the gate. A 5. Done it. Oh, excellent. So he's going to spend 5 clues and seal the gate as well. So there are his 5 clues. We can take away the explode token as well. Take away the gate, which is now a trophy. Do we have any star or triangle monsters? I don't think we do. No, we don't. We'll also take that and get ourselves a blue seal of funkiness. Well done, Jim. You got there eventually. So fantastic. That's our 2nd gate sealed. Next up is Leo Anderson. And here we are with Leo, and he is going to go through a gate. Now he's got a choice. It's the Abyss or Relay. Unsurprisingly, he's going to pick the Abyss. Neither are nice, but I'd rather have encounters in the Abyss. So I've moved him down to the Abyss. We'll see him shortly in the Otherworld encounter phase. After Leo, it is Tony Morgan. And here we are with Tony. And Tony is going to discard Storm of Spirits and call down the Storm. He wants to keep Wither. And he discards those, which means we can get rid of the Innsmouth Plague. So Arkham encounters phase, and we have got rid of 2 spells. Woohoo! So we've discarded that and got rid of that plague. Brilliant. Okay, after Tony, it will be George Barnaby. And here we are with George in the Silver Twilight Lodge. So that is the blue French Hill deck. Give it a quick shuffle. And a cut. See what we get. A lovely young woman stumbles into you as you're searching for the library. Pardon me, she says. My name is Constant Hawberk. Have you seen my father? Pass a luck -2 check to point her in the right direction. Luck -2. We'll need that. What's his luck? His luck's 3. Does he get any additionals from anywhere? No, so it's just going to be a single die. We need a single die Catweazle special. Ooh, just not good enough. He's not going to spend a clue. We'll just take the fail, whatever it is. Can't imagine it'd be too bad. Yeah, oh, we'd have got 2 clue tokens. Ugh. Might have been worth spending a clue. But that's what happens when you only read up so far. So really, we should have spent a clue because it was a chance to get 2. But never mind. Nothing bad happened. So that's always a bonus. That is it for George. Next up is Bob Jenkins. And here we are with Bob. He's at the Historical Society, so we'll need the South Side deck. And let's see what we get. Historical Society. Weary of your travels, you lean back in one of the comfortable chairs for a while and rest. Gain 1 sanity. Well, we're at full sanity. But, yes, that's fine. Again, bit of a bonus. Nothing bad happened. Okay, so that is it for Bob. And our final investigator this turn is Joe Diamond. Here we are with Joe. Very quick. He's not going to have an encounter because he is in downtown. Just check because we've got a marker there. Oh, it's for the end of movement. So I can't really spend $5 to get a spell. So no matter. Spells aren't really that much use to him anyway. So that is it for Joe. Next up is the Otherworld encounter phase. And here we are with Leo. So what we need is we need a red or a blue. And we get a red straight off. And it's got the abyss on it as well. Pass a luck -1 check. His luck is 2. Does he get any help? I hope so. Oh, neither Charles Dexter Ward or Earl Sawyer gives him any extra luck. So, yeah, it's just 1 die. Oh, come on. Come on, Leo. Oh, 4 again. So close. But this is bad. We've failed a luck check. Or you are faced with an enormous mountain with a strange symbol carved into it, as if by the claw of a gigantic creature. The world swims around you and you lose 3 sanity? Oh, you pig! 3 sanity. Oh, so that puts him down to 2 sanity. Oh, that is a nasty card. And I'm just checking. He's got food. If it had been 3 stamina, I could have got 1 back. And of course, he's used his leadership ability already on somebody else. So, oof. 3 sanity. That is nasty. But he's still got 2 left, thankfully. But, oh dear me. Righto, so that is it for Leo. Next up is the Laugh and Chuckle phase. And here we are at the Laugh and Chuckle phase. So let's find out the bad news. And we get a headline. So, Southside Strangler suspected. Ooh. So we've got a gate at the woods, except we haven't because we've already got a gate at the woods, so we've got a bloody monster surge, haven't we? Every time I get rid of a few monsters, we get tons back. So, what's that? We've got 2 gates open, we've got 8 investigators. Oh my god. Hang on, let's work out how many monsters we're gonna get. I'm back. Yes, it's the number of open gates or the number of investigators, whichever is the larger. And we've got 8 investigators. So we're going to get 8 monsters. What a nightmare. So I better move this out of the way because there'll be too many monsters on the board. Oh, right. Anyway, right. So 8 monsters. This is going to be a laugh, and we're going to have to do them all in order. We'll have to start at the woods, because that's the gate that we've got. So our first one is a Leng spider, so we'll just put that at the woods. The next one we'll have to go to Independent Square, which is our only other open gate, and that's going to get a fire vampire. Then back to the woods again, and we get a goat spawn. Then we go back up to Independence Square. Oh, we're going to have tons of monsters in Arkham. We've got another fire vampire. So there's a bit of a fire vampire meeting at Independence Square. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's our monster limit? It is 9. And this one is a ghost. 8 ghosts. So these are going to be able to fit on the board. Oh no, one is going to go to the outskirts. So next one is a flying polyp. They're all flying monsters up in Independence Square. And another one down at the woods. We've got another ghost. I'm pulling the same monsters out. None of those move either, so those ghosts are going to be really difficult to get rid of. And we've got one more. I think that's it, isn't it? Hang on. The next one goes into, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this next one goes into the outskirts. Let it be a nasty one. Alloy door, yeah, we don't like them. So that's gone into the outskirts. Right, I've put all this lot on stands. Won't be a second. Okay, I'm back. One piece of good news. I'd forgotten about the night gaunt that was already in the sky. So that final ghost actually goes to the outskirts, but we're full up now. Any more monsters, that's it. The terror track starts moving, and I think that affects some of our personal stories, the terror track. I'll have to check that, but yes, I think it does. So look at that. You know, I spend all that time killing monsters to keep them down, and then I just get a monster surge and everything goes absolutely crazy, man. Right, so where's the clues? The clue goes to the Historical Society. Woo! So that goes straight to Bob. Excellent. So we'll give a clue to Bob, who's now got 5 clues, which would be fantastic normally, except my plan for Bob was obviously to send him into the Woods Gate. So he's got a real laugh getting there now. But if we get rid of the Moon Beast, you know, perhaps he can go in there and kill all this stuff. But it's going to be tough. It will be tough. So at least he's got 5 clues now. And right, movement, circles move on white. So have we got any circle monsters? No, that's a hexagon. That's another hexagon, the flying polyp. The fire vampires are star monsters. Maniac is a crescent. Slash for the night gaunt, and a slash for the moon beast. So no. Squares, I don't think we've got any squares either. No, we do not. And finally we've got diamonds. Do we have any diamond monsters? No, we don't. So there's no monster movement. However, I'm sure we get a rift. So where is our rift? It's up here. So let's pick a token out, and we get, what is that? Oh, this is the whole school. Yep, that's the whole school, isn't it? So that goes up here. So we need to get somebody at Kingsport as well as kill a horde of monsters. Southside Strangler suspected. Headline. However, the press is mistaken, and the murders were caused by 2 monsters that are released into the Southside streets. So the terror track does go up, because obviously we lose these 2 because they've hit the limit, and these 2 that we pull out now, these will go direct to the outskirts. So our first one is another flying monster, a buyer key. And another one will be a cultist. Oh, we could have done with those, pulling those out there, easy. So the terror track goes up by 1. I'll check the personal stories, won't be a second, just move the terror track up to 1. There we go, just going to check the personal stories, see if we've failed any, won't be a second. Okay, got some bad news and some good news. The terror track hasn't affected anything yet, it has to get up to 3 or 4 and then it affects Jackie and it affects Leo, but 2 others have been sort of tripped. The bad news is, I'm afraid, Wilson has failed, and he should have failed at the end of last turn, but I didn't notice it. If there are 6 or more Doom tokens on the Ancient One's Doom track, place Too Little Too Late in play. So here's Too Little Too Late. O'Banion was leaning against the white picket fence. Wilson felt his knuckles go white. The cops were leading the kid to a car. What happened? O'Banion pushed off the fence. None of your business, boyo. Wilson immediately discards all of his clue tokens. So he had 4 clue tokens, Wilson. They have all gone. So that is a real blow. But we should have lost that at the end of last turn. But, oh, that is just really nasty. But at least we do have a silver lining, which is Bob Jenkins. Because if Bob has 5 or more clue tokens, place jackpot in play. Remember, he got a clue token because he hoovered that one up that appeared at the Historical Society. So that is fantastic. So let's have a read of jackpot. He'd found them. Stacks and stacks of alloyed gold coins, minted by no human hand. Of course, by this time, money was the last thing on Bob Jenkins's mind. Bob gains $15. Once per turn during the upkeep phase, Bob may spend $3 to gain 1 clue token. Awesome. So he will get $15. So I'll sort that out. And he can actually buy clues with that. So that is going to be excellent. So Bob is now up to $22, which in this game is like, you're just like, oh, like Rockefeller, man. So, but yeah, losing 4 clue tokens. Oh, so yeah, I thought we had, I don't know why, I thought we had a lot more time with Wilson, but we didn't. What I should have done is obviously given him some money from Joe ages ago. Joe's had loads of money all game. I should have given it to Wilson before we sent him to Innsmouth, so I made a bit of an error there. So we've lost 4 clue tokens. All those clue tokens in Innsmouth have gone for nothing. So that is a real downer. Oh, one more thing. May as well get rid of that. We don't have the rumour anymore up at Church Green. Yes, so there we go. It's a bit hard to talk about, you know, how we've done that turn. I suppose it's a successful turn, all things considered. Wilson, he failed at the end of last turn, so can't really blame that on this turn. And we did seal a gate, so we've got a sealed gate at the Black Cave. The other good thing is, of course, we haven't had a gate open. Because we haven't had a gate open, oh, that reminds me. Another thing, but it's still pretty good, I think. So we put 1 on the Deep One's Rising track. But we still got plenty there, so I think we'll be alright. Yes, so what that means is although we've got 1 on the Deep One's Rising track, that's not bad, as I say, there's plenty left. We just got loads of monsters coming out, and that's caused us a real problem, because I was expecting Leo to sort of waltz out of the abyss, close the gate easily, but now he's got a load of monsters there. We may get some monster movement, they may go to the sky. So hopefully, you know, that'll help. The terror track started moving up. The woods is now really difficult to get to, and it's a nice easy gate to close as well. It's only a -1 gate. So Bob is going to have to do some monster killing. I think if we do what I was thinking about for Joe this next turn, you know, if he can get that pentagram of blood perhaps, and he can get rid of the moon beast, That'd be really, really helpful, I think. And then Bob can go into the woods and try and kill all those. I think the ghost is really tough. The ghost is really tough. And yeah, physically resistant goat spawn. The leng spider. These are all tough monsters. You know, ambush, overwhelming one. These are all really tough. Mind you, did we get a really groovy spell for Frecky? Plague of Locusts. Let's have a look. Cast an exhaust to oh, it's only one monster in a street area. So, you know, that'd be good on the Moon Beast, but other than that, these monsters are really difficult. So, it's how are we going to get people into the woods? I don't know. They're really difficult to sneak past as well. Oof, that is going to be so tough. So we'll have to think of something there. But yeah, just getting all those really nasty monsters in there is really thrown a spanner in the works again. So although it was only a monster surge, you know, it was only we only ended up putting about 10 monsters on the board. Yeah, it's oh, that woods gate was pretty much unguarded. We were going to get rid of the Moon Beast. Bob was going to like waltz in, and everything was going to be funky, man. But now we're in real stuck. Right, well, we'll have to think of something before next time. Anyway, is there anything else? We've put the Deep One Rising token on because the gate didn't open. We've done the Rift. We didn't get an Environment Mystic card. It was another headline, so Overture is fine. I'm not using... I'm fine, even though it's finished a bit grim. I know I could pull another card, but I just like the fact that we haven't got a gate. So I'm going to put up with the extra monsters. We could have like thrown it back, couldn't we, using Jenny's ability? But I had to think about it, but I think, yeah, we'll keep it. We'll save her ability for something really, really crappy, I think. You know, like another rumour, or, you know, one of the cards that he's going to flip over the Act card, something like that. So we'll take this one on the chin, but it's still a bit grim. Okay, so another real nasty Mythos phase that was. And then, of course, the personal story of Wilson. But as I say, we should have done that last turn, so that's my fault. But didn't affect gameplay much. He couldn't get off Devil Reef anyway, or your hat and fly. He'd have just lost them clues that he's picked up. But yes, that is pretty grim. Okay, so that is it for turn 5. Thank you for all the views, thank you for all the subscriptions, thank you for all the likes and the dislikes. Thanks for all the help and support, and as ever, if you've spotted an error, please let me know and I will do my best to fix it for next turn. Anyone who's been across the Board Game Links to have a look at the videos over there, thank you very much. And the same to anybody who's been to BGG to like the video threads there, make a comment there, or give me any geek gold or anything of that nature. Thank you so much. So that is it for episode 5. I hope you join me for episode 6. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.